Hey there, Eric Gall here. Every week I put out one of these videos to answer a question that's come in from a family or a self-advocate that has a developmental disability. And the question that I've been getting a lot lately is, what are the options for my loved one? What are the options for my loved one? And this is a big question for, I think, all of us as families, because, no matter what, stage in life our loved one is at, whether they are maybe transitioning out of high school, maybe they're in their 20s or 30s, or maybe they're in their 40s, like, well, what are the options? And those options might seem a little bit limited, or you might not like those options. So I want to give you one really big idea that is super expansive in terms of helping you think about all of the amazing options that are available that your loved one might be interested in. Okay, so there's really two paths that our loved one can go down. Okay, so there's two paths, like the path that you walk on. Okay, so the first path is what I call, or I'm going to call, the special needs path. Okay, and the special needs path is the one that society tries to force us down. So it's the path of the special needs classroom. It's the path of the group home. It's the path of the day program, right? So those are the options that are presented to us at different stages in our loved one's life. And it just seems very limited, right? And those options probably aren't best for your loved one. And you might be feeling like, those options don't fit my loved one. And what are the other options, right? And those options aren't good for a whole bunch of reasons, because they're segregated, they're oppressive, they're very limited. There's very limited opportunity for a broad range of relationships. Often there's isolation in those options. So I could go on and on and on, but you kind of get the idea here, right? The special needs path is limited, but that's the only thing presented to us. And there's this whole other path that, isn't presented to us, isn't talked about by the teacher, the guidance counselor, the supporter, the administrator, you name it, right? And that is what I call the awesome ordinary path. Okay, the awesome ordinary path. So what is the awesome ordinary path? Well, that's the path that everybody else walks down, right? That's the path that, you're doing the ordinary thing in ordinary community, right? Instead of the day program or the sheltered workshop, that's employment, or maybe furthering your education and exploring those things, right? We often don't know exactly what it is that we want to learn, or what that job is that we want, but we need to explore in those areas to figure that out for most of us. And that's okay, right? And that's going down that awesome ordinary life path, right? And it just provides so many other opportunities, right? Maybe instead of the day program, it's exploring, well, what are the hobbies and activities that I can explore around my interests in the community, whether that's, I don't know, something physical like a walking group, or, it's still COVID time, so something outside maybe, right? Or maybe that's, I don't know, if you're at a cold area, maybe it's skiing. And if you're a warm area, maybe it's something on the beach. And it's thinking about, well, maybe our loved one doesn't know their interests, but they need the opportunity to explore their interests, and they might need some support to do that. And that is perfectly okay. When we're thinking about home, right? And I talked about the special needs path being the group home. Well, what's the awesome ordinary life path? Well, that's just thinking about, well, what would home look like for anybody else of your loved one's age, right? For many people, their first home is renting an apartment, right? Let's think through that. What could that potentially look like? So the big idea that I wanted to give to you here is that we're not limited to the special needs path. There's this whole other path, which is the awesome ordinary life path. And when we think about what does that awesome ordinary life path look like for our loved one, it's really expansive in terms of what our loved one's life could look like and helping our loved one to live a good life. So I'd love it if you scroll down and left a comment and maybe shared what resonated with you in this video, what was helpful. Let me know in the comments. And I'm Eric Gall. Together, let's take a small step forward.